Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijanda Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijanda Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Gaur. Om Jnanatimbrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Krishna Katha session. As Keshav Madhava Prabhu already announced yesterday that we will continue having different special Krishna Katha lectures just in advance of the different festival days. So these sessions, which started yesterday, are in honor of Sri Balaram, which appearance day is on full moon next Monday. So, who is Sri Balaram? Balaram is actually the elder brother of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is his first expansion. Shastra says there are innumerable expansions and incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereof Balaram is the first one. He is actually the servitor Godhead. If Krishna is the enjoyer Godhead, Sri Balaram is the servitor Godhead, which means that he facilitates Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's different leelas and enjoyments. He comes and prepares everything. Everything which is used in the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is actually considered to be an expansion of Sri Balaram. Already when Krishna appeared himself, Balaram actually appeared just before him in order to prepare everything. It is said that Balaram appeared about noontime. He was the seventh child of Vasudeva and Devaki. But when he appeared, due to the arrangement of Yogamaya, it looked just like a misconception. He stayed for 7 months in the womb of Devaki, and after that he got transferred to the womb of Rohini, which was another wife of Vasudeva, which was staying in Vrindavan under the shelter of Nanda Maharaj. So another name of Balaram is Shankarshan. The ones who got attracted or transferred from Devaki's womb to the womb of Rohini. This also had another significance. The acharyas say that Yogamaya did that in order to bewilder Kamsa, because as you all know, there was the prediction once that the 8th child of Vasudeva and Devaki will actually cause the death of Kamsa. So Yogamaya arranged the transfer in order also to bewilder Kamsa, because the first 6 children he very cruelly killed just after being born. So now there was a question whether the miscarriage was number 7 or whether he didn't count. Anyway, the understanding is that Balaram appeared in the womb of Devaki in order to prepare the womb for the appearance of Sri Krishna. His acharyas have also stated that the 6 previous sons of Vasudeva and Devaki, who were killed just after their birth, were actually the 6 children of Kalnemi and were Asurs. It is also stated that they represent 6 anarthas. That is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mat, and Matsarya. Kama means lust, Krodha means anger, Lobha means greed, Moha means illusion, Mad means madness, and Matsarya means jealousy or envy. So in order to purify the womb of Devaki, Sri Balaram appeared, so that everything was speckless, prepared for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, to appear in the womb of Devaki just thereafter. Then we also get to know that Balaram is called the wielder of the plow. This was actually the title which was given to this talk. Jayadev Goswami, one of our great Vaishnava poets, stated in his Das Avatar Stotra, Sri Balaram as the seventh incarnation. And he states that Vahamsi Vapusi Vishade Vasanam Jaladabham Haladati Biti Milita Jamunadham Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. He says that the beautiful, brilliant complexion of white, Balaram covered it with the garments of the color, of a blue color, which resembled the rain cloud, as well as the hue of the color of Jamuna, who actually came before Lord Balaram after he commanded her to come close. Behind this is a very beautiful Leela story, which states that Lord Balaram, coming from Dwaraka to Vrindavan, wanted to pacify the gopis, who were much in anguish after their leaving. Krishna and Balaram left Vrindavan, as you all know, and went first to Mathura and then to Dwaraka. So in order to pacify and give some pleasure to them, Balaram actually came one day from Dwaraka, and he wanted to dance and enjoy with the gopis, giving them his companion. And at that occasion, Balaram used to drink Varuni. Varuni is a special liquid, a special drink which was made from honey. And it is said that it has intoxicating effects. But these intoxicating effects are not to be compared to some similar effects which are known to us. Radhanath Maharaj actually said that these are not against Vaishnava rules. So that means they were not degrading, but they were actually elevating. Anyway, we sometimes also prepare that Varuni at the appearance day of Lord Balaram. So when he was enjoying with the damsels of Vrindavan, being intoxicated by Varuni, he actually called Jamuna Devi and said she should come where they were, so in order that they can swim and sport in the river. So at first Jamuna didn't pay any heed. So Balaram got very much angry, and with his plow he actually dragged Jamuna close there. Being very afraid, seeing the power of Lord Balaram, Jamuna Devi then appeared with folded hands and begged for forgiveness. And till up to today, we can see that Jamuna has many, many branches coming from Delhi, from Hastinapur to Vrindavan, which is still the result which can be seen from Lord Balaram's manifestation of his anger. So Lord Balaram has also another duty. As being the first expansion, he is actually the origin of all incarnations, as well as also the origin of all living beings. And in that position, he is actually also very much eager to bring all conditioned souls back home, back to the lotus feet of Krishna. And in that capacity, he is actually the Adi Guru, the original spiritual master. Because the spiritual master, his occupation is to attract the conditioned living entities and to bring them back under the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In one lecture, Srila Bhakti-Chandra Maharaj actually compared it like Balaram is just like the farmer with his plow who prepares the fields in order to be harvested and bring the harvest back to the lotus feet of Krishna. So, in Krishna's and Balaram's pastimes, there are a lot of demons come forward, which were killed either by Krishna or by Balaram. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes some of them in his Krishna Samhita as being the personifications of our anarthas. So in this understanding, we can see certain anarthas are actually taken care of by Krishna, and certain anarthas are taken care of by Sri Balaram. Or to say it in a different way, in order to get rid or get the strength to overcome the anarthas, for some it's actually necessary to approach the spiritual master. And one of them, Balaram actually killed many, many demons. So maybe few of them we can discuss tonight. So the first demon which Balaram killed was Dhenukasura, the ass demon. So the ass actually stands for foolishness, for stupidity. Even Prabhupada many times actually uses this expression, mudha, fools, asses, in order to indicate a hard-working laborer. And many times he compared it actually very graphically with the animal of an ass. An ass actually, what is his duty? He actually carries, especially in India, he's used to carry the washerman's load from his home to the river and back. And for that he's actually giving just a morsel of grass. And Prabhupada makes the point first that he's called stupid or foolish because everywhere there is grass. There is no need to wait for the washerman to give a piece of, to give some grass to the donkey, but the donkey means, the ass means, only if I do what I ought to do to carry this heavy load of washes for the washerman, I'm actually get some food. So similarly, it stands for the fruitive activities which the living entity is engaged in, and his miserness to want to enjoy the fruits of his activities by himself and not giving the fruits of his work, surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because this inclination is actually the root cause of the material existence. To think that we are the doer, and to think out of our stupidity and foolishness that we will gain joy and happiness by trying to satisfy our senses. So, the lila behind is that when they were playing the Gopas, they suggested to Balaram that why not go to Talavan. Talavan was a place where there were a lot of tall trees. Tall trees is a very beautiful fruit which has a very nice complexion, violetish complexion, and a very sweet, tasty fruit itself, which actually stands for the work, the karma living entity does. So, the Gopas, the coward boys, actually were very afraid because it was known that this Talavan was the area where Dhenukasur was staying, and whoever went there, this demon was very powerful, he would just kill that specific person. But Balaram said, no, there's no problem, let's go there. So having full faith in Balaram, all coward's boy went there. And as soon as they went, Balaram started to shake the tall trees and the fruits would fall on the floor. At that time, Dhenuka was just taking a nap, and being woken up, hearing the sound of the fruits falling down, he got very astonished and looked around who was daring actually to intrude in his kingdom, and he got angry and charged towards Balaram. But Balaram very easily caught Dhenuka on his hind leg and started to whirl him and threw him up on the top of the trees. And through this whole whirling and throwing, actually, Dhenuka gave up his life and was killed. But then, when he flew up the dead corpse to the tall trees, one after another of the tall trees fell down. So it was very easy for the coward boys to pick up then the fruits and enjoy them for their greatest satisfaction. So in that way, this Leela is very instructive. If we follow the instruction of the spiritual master and imbibe his mercy, we will actually be able to overcome the tendency to try to enjoy our activities and try to keep very miserly the fruits of our activities for our enjoyment instead of offering them to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another demon which was killed by Balaram was Pralambasur. Pralambasur was a very capable demon, a good friend of Kamsa, Keshi, Putana, and others. And he actually noticed how powerful Krishna was. So he was thinking, oh, I have to be a little careful, and he tried to make another plan. So he thought of, because the cowboys used to play different games, and they divided themselves in two groups. So on the group who wins had to take the groups, the group who lost had to carry the members of the winners on their back. So he thought, well, better join the group of Balaram, because then he won't encounter Krishna. And the idea behind was that let's try to kill Balaram, because Balaram and Krishna were always inseparable. So if he would be able to kill Balaram, Krishna actually would give up his life, being unable to live without Balaram. So that demon had, as many others, the capacity and the mystic power to attain any kind of form he wanted. There it's also said that from there we actually can see that the power of mystic strength to assume different kinds of form is in no way spiritual. Also with other demons we can see many of them actually mastered the science of mystic perfection, whereas they could attain any kind of form they wished. So Pralambasura, he actually took on the form of one coward boy, which on that specific day was sick and had to stay home. So nobody actually noticed that it was not that coward boy, but instead it was a demon. So the different coward boys, Krishna and Balaram, played their games, and Krishna's party was the winning party. So the losing party, the members had to carry the others. So Sudama carried Krishna, and Pralambasura, being in disguise of a cowboy, took Balaram on his back. So the idea was just to went from A to B in Vrindavan, short distance, but Pralambasura, he went further direction Mathura. So after some time, Balaram actually noticed something is wrong with that guy who carries me. Of course he knew it before, but in order to perform that pastimes, he actually acted only on that specific moment when they left the vicinities of Vrindavan heading towards Mathura. And Balaram decided, okay, let's see, and he became heavy, more heavy and heavy. So Pralambasura was forced to take up in his natural gigantic form, which was described as being huge, as big as a mountain. And then he said it looked like the full moon was sitting on top of a huge mountain. Then, after some time, Balaram actually thought, well, that's going to be enough. And just with one blow of his fist on the head, Pralambasura actually gave up his life and crashed to the ground, being dead. So the acharyas say that this Pralambasura personifies the anarthas of wanting to enjoy specifically gross sex desire on the one hand, and in the subtle, plain, subtle sex desire of adoration, distinction, honor. So, once again, we can take a lesson for us. In order to overcome the pride or the demand which we all have in us to be respected, to be adored, to have a distinct position, actually can be overcome by the proper worship of the spiritual master. Then there are some other demons which were killed. One we have heard yesterday, the gorilla, Dvivida. It has been said that this one specifically warns us what can happen if one gets proud and disrespects the Vaishnavas, disrespects the spiritual master, and in that way gets attracted to unfavorable association. Because as Keshava Madhava Prabhu narrated yesterday, Dvivida was a minister of Sugriv and was fighting with Sugriv on the side of Ramchandra and Lakshman. So the question may arise is, how come that he turned into, or he acquired this unfavorable behavior? And the explanation is given due to excessive pride and to the misbehavior towards the devotees and the spiritual master. The result will be that we will be attracted to unwanted association, and in that way get contaminated and lose our knowledge, what is to be done and what is not to be done. And we start behave like monkeys, showing our private parts and all other nasty things. Then another demon which were killed by Balaram was when the two boys were invited by Kamsa to come to Mathura for a wrestle game. They were actually confronted with the most powerful wrestlers at that time, Chanur and Mustika. These were two giants, very muscular wrestlers who haven't been defeated in their life. And here comes the two 12-year-old boys, and they really were expected to fight with them. They were actually welcomed by Chanur Mustika and said, Krishna and Balaram addressed them and said, how come you're undefeated wrestlers and we're just two small boys? How possible you can willing to a fight which is so unjust? Then the answer of Chanur Mustika was, that's not true. You actually killed so many demons, so you're very much powerful. And anyway, it is the duty of the citizen to give pleasure to the king, Kamsa. So whether you will live or you will die, the main point is to satisfy Kamsa, the king. So anyway, Krishna and Balaram agreed, and we all know that they were successful. Chanur was fighting Krishna and got defeated, and Balaram fought with Mushtika and slayed him. And then these two brothers had 3 other brothers. There were actually 5 of them, all of them very successful wrestlers. The other one was Shal, Kutal, and Koshal. And Kutal was the next one to be killed by Balaram. Shal and Koshal was taken care of by Krishna. And then at the end, as we all know, after having slain the wrestlers, Krishna actually charged for Kamsa, went on his elevated seat, threw him down, and killed him. And Balaram, after thought that Kamsa was so cruel and killed our 6 younger brothers, so I will kill his 8 brothers. Kamsa had 8 brothers. So after Kamsa was slain by Krishna, Balaram actually went and killed all the rest of his brothers. I think I stop now. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Are there any comments or questions?
I was contemplating when you narrated the stories of the demons and how they can assume all the forms they like and they come in disguise. Putana came as a very beautiful woman, or like then with Pralampasura who came as a cowherd boy. And it seems perhaps also the Anarthas to us don't seem to look like as they look in their true shape. And they seem to have some rather positive form. It don't appear to us like that. And I was thinking when I heard now the narration, like how Balaram, for example, was on the shoulders of Pralampasura and became heavier. Then Pralampasura was forced to reveal his true form, his demoniac form, and then was slain. And I'm wondering, would it mean, could we understand it like this, that in our process of Krishna consciousness, actually, first these anarthas come to show themselves fully before being destroyed, something like this? Just a thought, if you want to maybe comment on this way of looking at it.
Well, I guess one positively could see it in that way, because first we have to realize what are our misgivings in order to overcome them. And at first point, I mean, the root cause of our material existence is actually ignorance. We don't know who we are. And to be a little more specific, we don't actually know who is really guiding us. And in that way, yes, I think so. We will always think that we are the doer, but actually, as Krishna says, the 3 modes of material nature are the doer, and we are just slaves of the different forces which act upon us due to our karma. So in that way, yes. Because the more we advance in spiritual life, the more we realize the different forces we are under. the modes of material nature. And by gradually elevating, leaving the two lower modes of ignorance and passion and being situated in goodness, we realize that we are not the doer. And in that way, we can transcend the lower modes. And transcending the lower modes actually means conquer these anarthas. And being situated on the spiritual platform, Brahmabhuta Prasannama, realizing that we are spirit soul and actually acting on that platform. Because as Prabhupada states, real devotional service starts being situated in a mode of goodness. That means the two lower modes are practically nullified, non-existent, which are the cause of the anarthas. Hare Krishna. Thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.